I woke up to a weight on my chest, a presence looming over me. My vision was blurry, my mind foggy from sleep, but as the haze cleared, I found myself staring into the face of my housekeeper, Eva. Her dark eyes bore into mine, intense and unblinking. My heart slammed against my ribs, panic jolting me fully awake. "Eva?" My voice cracked as I tried to move, but her weight pinned me down. She didn't flinch. She just stayed there, her hands pressing into my shoulders as if keeping me still. I could feel the warmth of her breath, the faint scent of lavender, and something else, something metallic. "You were dreaming," she said softly, her voice eerily calm. "I had to stop you." "Stop me? From what?" I struggled, but she was stronger than I expected. "You were thrashing," she explained, her grip loosening just slightly. "Screaming." I tried to recall the nightmare she was talking about, but my mind was a blank slate. Just shadows and whispers at the edges of my memory. The fear lingered though, like a stain I couldn't scrub out. "Okay," I breathed, trying to keep my voice steady. "You can get off me now." She hesitated for a moment, then finally moved, sliding off and sitting at the edge of my bed. I sat up, rubbing my temples, my pulse still racing. My room was dimly lit by the glow of the city outside, and everything looked normal. But nothing felt normal. "I didn't mean to scare you," she said, watching me carefully. "But I had to make sure." "Make sure of what?" I asked, still trying to piece everything together. Eva glanced at the door, then back at me. "That you were really awake." A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" She hesitated, fingers knotting together in her lap. Sometimes people don't wake up all the way." "Not really." My mouth went dry. "What are you talking about?" She inhaled sharply, as if weighing her words. "Sleep paralysis, night terrors, lucid dreaming. Call it what you want. But sometimes a dream doesn't let go. It clings to you. And if you don't break free, it can pull you back." My skin prickled. "That sounds like superstition." She shrugged. "Maybe, but I've seen it happen." I stared at her. She was my housekeeper, hired 2 months ago after I'd moved into this place. Quiet, efficient, always polite but never overly familiar. Until now. Until this strange, unsettling moment where she sat on the edge of my bed, speaking like she knew something I didn't. "You're saying I was still dreaming," I said, trying to keep up. "That I wasn't really awake?" She nodded. "Not at first. I had to wake you up the rest of the way." I exhaled slowly, running a hand through my hair. "And how exactly did you do that?" "Pressure." She met my gaze. "Sometimes physical weight helps pull a person back. The mind registers it. The body recognizes it." I let out a shaky laugh. "So you decided to just sit on me?" A small smile played at her lips. "It worked, didn't it?" I didn't have an argument for that. But something about this whole thing still felt off. My instincts told me there was more to the story, something she wasn't saying. And the way she looked at me, as if she were studying me, assessing me, made my stomach twist. I swung my legs over the side of the bed, putting some space between us. "Eva, why were you in my room in the first place?" For the first time, she hesitated. "I heard something." My muscles tensed. "Something? Like what?" She licked her lips. "Footsteps." The room felt suddenly colder. "In here?" "No," she said. "Outside. In the hallway." I turned to look at the door, which was slightly ajar. My heart thumped in my chest. "Did you see anyone?" She shook her head. "By the time I checked, there was no one there. But I swear, I heard them." A chill ran down my spine. My apartment was on the 10th floor of a high-rise, with only one way in or out. And I always locked my door. Always. You think someone was in here? I asked, my voice low. She didn't answer right away. Then, in a quiet voice, she said, I don't know. But I wasn't taking any chances. A heavy silence stretched between us. I wanted to dismiss it, tell myself she was imagining things. But I couldn't ignore the uneasy feeling gnawing at me, the lingering remnants of my nightmare still clinging to my skin. Lock the door, I said finally. Just in case. She nodded and stood, heading toward it. As she did, I caught a glimpse of something dark on her sleeve. A stain. Small, but noticeable. Is that blood? I asked before I could stop myself. She froze for just a second before glancing down at it. Her face remained unreadable. I must have cut myself earlier. Cleaning. I didn't believe her. But I also didn't press. Not yet. The next morning, I woke up with a lingering sense that something was watching me. Not just a dream, not paranoia, something real. My apartment felt different, the air heavier. When I checked my front door, the lock was still in place. But something nagged at me, a feeling in my gut that something had changed. Eva was already in the kitchen, preparing breakfast like nothing had happened the night before. She glanced at me as I entered, her expression unreadable. Did you sleep well? She asked. I hesitated. I don't know. Did I? She tilted her head slightly, a ghost of a smile on her lips. You tell me. I wanted answers. And I had a feeling that Eva had them. Whether I was ready for them, that was another question entirely. That night, I set up a small camera in my room, hiding it within a bookshelf. If something, or someone, was creeping around at night, I wanted proof. At 3:13 a.m., I woke to the sensation of cold air brushing against my skin. I turned my head, my heart hammering as I saw my door open, just an inch. And beyond it, the unmistakable sound of footsteps. Eva wasn't in sight. But when I checked the footage the next morning, my blood ran cold. The video showed my door creaking open. A dark figure stood in the threshold. Not Eva. Something taller. Leaner. Its head tilted at an unnatural angle as it peered inside. Then, without warning, Eva appeared, moving fast, too fast. She tackled the figure, and they both vanished into the darkness of the hallway. I never heard a struggle. I turned from the screen just as Eva entered the room, holding a cup of coffee. Good morning, she said. I stared at her, my pulse pounding. Eva, who was in my apartment last night? She set the coffee down in front of me and met my gaze, her expression calm but serious. You were never supposed to see that. And just like that, I knew my housekeeper wasn't just a housekeeper. She was my protector. And something, or someone, wanted me gone.